No, I can't be up in here complaining. Gotta let them know I'm famous in my heart. Listen here, I'm here for the world to hear. And I'ma make sure they know what my name is. I just wanna end up famous in
I'm
their
so serious,
heart.
probably why they be so damn curious. They furious, Easy got these ladies on some silly shit. Now what the dilly is, I'm going all out. Hey, I'm the talk of the town, why y'all just saw a mouth? Here's a story about my quest to be rich. I'm like Beyonce and Kelly on some Destiny shit. Mr. 6 Mile, look me up, I'm somewhat a dream. Got my city like an addict, guess it's somewhat a fiend. For my team, anything less is uncivilized. Surprise, I'm seeing this world through clear eyes. And haters only made me more inspired to bless. On the clock right now, what the hell is the next? Like that feeling in your chest when you're ready to leave. Like that memory you had, you just couldn't believe. And we always got a little ammunition for y'all, cause we remember when they wouldn't even listen at all.
Listen here, I can't go another year. No, I can't be up in here complaining. Gotta let them know I'm famous in my heart. Listen here, I'm here for the world to hear. And I'ma make sure they know what my name is. I wanna end up famous in there.
In 97 on Gunston and 6 Measy, the streets made a natural born hustler. Believe me, drop real with it. That was my first EP. Grind harder than granted, but made it look easy. Take it to the top, that was the plan. Now I'm known worldwide, from Detroit to Japan. 14 years span, fuck hot nigga, I'm scorching. I done got the fame, now I want the fortune. 6 albums deep, yes, I grind harder. Better known as Eno Brown, the D is my Carter. I been hood rich from dropping bombs. Now I want white man rich stocks and bonds. Want my ice cream and cake on the golden plate. Trying to make bread to have my great grandkids straight. Yes sir, I got my vision clear. Fast lane, switching gears.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Jackson Report. This one is monumental today because this episode 10, we in double digits now. We're going to be talking about a lot of different stuff with y'all today. But I figured I wanted to start the show off with a little something that's going to hit home with everybody. All my fam down in Georgia, my aunts, my sisters down there, come January 5th, we need y'all to do it one more time because the balance of power in the Senate is resting on the runoffs that's going to go down January 5th in Georgia. So if y'all down in Georgia, hey, go out and do it again. Go out and put them 2 Dems in them seats so the Democrats can have the Senate. And maybe once this election is finally resolved, then the president won't have such a hard time getting his legislation passed through. Because, you know, old Mitch ain't trying to hear what the president will be talking about unless, you know, it's his puppet master. So if you're down in Georgia, y'all got 2 months to rest up. But beat them streets again. Get back out there. Press the vote. Get them Dems in them seats so we can get the Senate back. This week, y'all, I really want to come to y'all and talk about pretty much all this stuff we've been experiencing in 1 year. This 1 year done seemed like 5 to me. If you're looking at it from my standpoint, we done been through a pandemic. We done been through layoffs. We done been through the unemployment thing. We done been through a crazy election that a lot of us, we celebrating, but y'all need to hold on to y'all hats because the electorals don't vote until December 14th. So ain't nothing official. The media projected Biden as the clear-cut winner. But if y'all remember 2000, we not trying to see this election get stole. So everybody, let's not fire the gun too prematurely. Let's not get all wrapped up on who we know should be president And we look up and it don't happen like that, because I honestly feel like if it does go any other way than how it's been projected to us, it'd be a crazy time in America. And speaking of a crazy time in America, let's get serious, y'all. For the past 4 years, we've been a country divided. We've been a country divided by political views, by social views, by some of everything except for what matters. And I don't know how y'all look at it, but I do believe we live in the United States. That first word, united. Just how united are we? How united are we if I could look at somebody and just because he's not the same color as me, I instantly have a problem with him? Or I look at somebody and they not the same gender as me, and I think I'm better than them. Or I think I could do a better job than they can. Or if I'm younger and I look at somebody and they're a little older than me, I feel like they're a has-been. And not looking at them in the true form that they are, as a pioneer that paved the way for me to come in behind them. How united are we? But I was at work today thinking about what I wanted to talk to y'all about. And to my ladies that's viewing this is a big moment for y'all. This is a big moment for all of the women in America. Not just the black women. When I say my sisters, I'm not just talking about to my black women. I'm talking to all of the women in America right now. This is a big moment for y'all. Because could we be looking at the end of this patriarchal system that we call a democratic system in America? Could we finally be seeing the end of that? Could we finally be seeing some change? Because as all stands, we just elected the very first female vice president. And if you ask me, I honestly believe that all this was just the groundwork for it to be a female president within the next 4 to 8 years. And mark my words, I'd be doggone if we not going to see that in the next 4 to 8 years. So women, y'all should be celebrating all over the country right now. Because it was a time when, just 4 years ago, a lot of people I heard was voting just because it was a woman running. And a lot of people voted against that woman. Oh, no, we can't have no woman running the country. And now look at it. A woman is about to be helping run the country. And see, I have my own points of view when it comes to that. Because a lot of people, like a lot of my male viewers, probably like, oh, which route is he going with this? He finna be advocating for the females, sucking for love and for the women. And that's not the truth. You think about it just like this. For a lot of us that grew up in 2-parent households, you think of it like this. Your dad, he went out and he did the hard work. But who was the backbone of that household? The backbone of the household was a woman, right? She was the meal preparer. She kept the kids in order. She kept the household functioning. A lot of times as men, we don't know what half the stuff be at in the household. We got to, hey, baby, where this at? Where that's at? So if a woman can be the backbone of the household, why on God's green earth can't a woman be the backbone to fix this democracy that we call America? Have y'all sat and thought about that one? And this whole time, I've been seeing so many mixed views on, oh, she not this and this woman not that. But at the end of the day, she's still a woman. She's still a woman of color. At that. People will try to say, oh, she not black, she mixed, she this, she that. She's a person of color just like all the rest of us. And she happens to be the first to get elected to that seat. And just as she said, she won't be the last. So like I keep saying, could this be the end of this patriarchy that we've been living in for our whole lives? If you think about it, you got feminist groups that say it's a misogynistic society, or that men think they run the world. So this should be a big day for y'all, ladies. This should be a very big moment for y'all. Because they just proved that it's not all about the men all the time. So we're going to give kudos to Joe Biden for having the audacity to pick a woman to run with him for the office he got elected to. And the deepest thing about it is, for some reason, listening to her acceptance speech, and y'all know me, I try to look at things not just from a biased point of view, but for some reason when I watched that speech, a feeling came over me like, she really gonna implement change, I think. Because people try to discredit her for her track record in California, saying she got a lot of black men locked up and kept them locked up. But have y'all ever thought about this? The political machine is one a lot of us don't understand if you're not into politics. If you're not really into politics, you're not going to understand the political machine. So have you ever thought about how it be on your job? You fake it till you make it. Give her their chance. Maybe she was faking it till she made it. And now she in a position where she can implement change. And while I'm on that implementing change topic, let me just be completely honest with y'all. I'm so proud of us. I'm so proud of us. Because when it came down to the urban areas like Philadelphia and Wayne County, even Fulton County and DeKalb County and Clayton County in Georgia, we swung the vote. We swung the vote and turned states blue that hadn't been blue in years. So to us, I salute. Because when it came down to stand up for something, we did just that. And last week, I was on here and I had my producer on here and we was having fun. It was election day. Everybody was celebrating in their own way, in their own right. But this week, I wanted to get back on track and talk to y'all about something that really should unite us all. Because at the end of the day, I believe we all have the same beliefs, whether we want to admit it or not. We all want what's best for us and our loved ones. It don't take politics. It don't take one man in position to make us all realize that. So it's almost like, why can't we all coexist when we all ultimately want the same thing from this country? That piece of the American dream that was so promised to us. And I'm speaking on this because this week been a different week for me. It's been a real different week for me. Found out 2 days ago that a lady I only had a few opportunities to be in her presence passed away. My Aunt Lois. And thinking of that, and I thought about just how it affected her immediate family. So I got to thinking back to all of the things that I've endured since I've been in Austin. All of the influential family members that passed away since I've been down here. And I thought about it. The one thing that we all have in common and the one thing that we all can relate to is that pain. That pain that a lot of us been experiencing this year due to this pandemic. Some more than others. But that pain that losing a loved one brings is something that we all can relate to. And you think just how empathetic towards each other we be during times like that. That's when the humanity in everybody really comes out. Because you send your condolences. You offer to be there for the family. But when do we learn to transition that same energy into everyday living? Because when you think about it, everything that we've been witnessing this year is all a living process. I remember growing up, a lot of my family members was passing away at different times. And it got me to the point where I would be so numb to it all that it'd just be like, dang, again, okay. But as I got older, it started hitting different. I started understanding it's not that we gonna miss the person's presence. A lot of times, and it's just my humble belief, a lot of times it's that what's left on the table when a person leaves this earth that has us grieving. Like, oh, I should have said, or I wish I could have did more. I wish I could have saw him more. I could have spent time with him more. So you think about it. If this pandemic can't unite us as a country, it shouldn't have took us electing a different president or all this different political stuff to bring us into union. Because this year we've all suffered loss. Not just us in the black community, not just the white community, but all communities all over the world have been suffering loss. So if we can't be empathetic towards that, and let this time in history where we were so divided be a thing of the past as we move forward, I don't know what else to tell y'all. I had so many different topics. I was just out back talking with my producer about what I should be talking about today. And we brought up the Obama administration. We brought up all these administrations. But when I sat in the chair to actually stream for y'all, it hit me like, none of that's going to be relevant. None of that's going to be relevant in this time we in. This time we seeing so many changes happen before our eyes. And the biggest change, oh yeah, we all went out and voted. And the media, almost like they fired the gun prematurely because they projecting Biden as the president-elect. But like I said, hold on to y'all hats. Because y'all remember 2000, Al Gore was projected the president-elect. And we woke up 2 days later to a whole different person in office. And I'm not saying that to take nothing away from the campaign that Joe and Kamala ran. Or wait, let me say her name right. Is it Kamala or Kamala? For the sake, we'll just say Miss Harris. The campaign that Miss Harris and Joe Biden ran was a hell of a campaign. And I'm not taking nothing away from it. Okay, it's Kamala. Okay. Yeah, it's Kamala. It's pronounced right. Good looking, Chuck.
It's pronounced Kamala.
Kamala. Oh, like Kamala, huh? See, we got Chuck back there, and Chuck mic'd up this week. So we can actually interact with him. Y'all could interact with him, too, on them comments if y'all viewing this. But see, the fact that we all went out and voted, and this woman is the very first, we should be giving applause to that. Whether you like it or not, that's one of the biggest changes in this country. We tried it 4 years ago, and it didn't quite come to fruition. But this time, the change getting sparked. And whether y'all want to believe it or not, I honestly feel like it's a different time in America. The feeling I've been having. Remember the song by Sam Cooke when he said a change is going to come? We hear people saying, oh, it's been 400 years and ain't nothing changed. It's been 400 years, but when you knock at a wall constantly, you take your ice pick and you keep picking at this wall. You keep picking at this wall and you picking at it and you seeing progress. What do you think eventually happens to that wall? Eventually that wall comes crumbling down. So a lot of the people that's been saying, oh, it's been 400 years and we ain't seen no change. And I even, speaking to myself, because I believe I said it on this same show last week. It's only so much that can be done before change has to come. Before they have to include us. But my biggest thing is this. The day that they include us, how is we going to come to the dance? Is we going to come to the dance with them same attitudes? Or is we going to come to the dance and lead by example and show them how they should have did it? See, this week, a different week. Because when I thought about Kamala, and I thought about just how impactful that is. A woman about to help run the country. They always say, oh, the president, the leader of the free world. And what's the old saying behind every great man is that even greater woman? So with all of the critics that's been saying, oh, she locked up this and locked up that, give that woman a chance. Give her a chance because we never know what her intentions are. You never know what nobody's intentions are when they get that seat. 4 years ago, a lot of y'all that ran out and voted for Trump changed all points of view this election. So how y'all know she ain't gonna change her point of view now that she's in that position to be able to spark change, to be able to help the people? I was even shocked when I looked at Williamson County. Apparently they got the corrupt sheriff out of there because Mike Gleason won in Williamson County. So Williamson County done went blue. Yeah, Chuck, let's pull that up. Didn't Mike Gleason win in Williamson County? Yeah, it's a new sheriff in town. If y'all in Williamson County, there's a new sheriff in town because Mike Gleason done won. And apparently, Chody or Cody, how you pronounce his name, he's going to get indicted. So much like the president, he's leaving office on charges. So that's a good thing in Williamson County. Maybe a lot of us people of color can breathe a little easier breezing on through Williamson County now. And if they can spark change, because like I said when I first got down here, that was the county I heard you don't go in. Like in Detroit, it used to be a time where you didn't go to Oakland County. You do not cross 8 Mile. So if you from Williamson County and you viewing this, right on to y'all, because y'all went out and got his butt out of office. So see, it's not just us that's been wanting change. I think all over the country, people ready to see change. Even this weekend, when I was doing Lyft this weekend, the passengers I was picking up, that's all they talked about. That's all they got in my car talking about. They got in the car talking about just how happy they was that change was about to come to America. And I'm speaking this to my people. What's up, cuz? I see you in them comments. What's up, J Hut? Of course it say J Hut, but you know I'm going to call you Fatty. We on the air. I'm going to call you Fatty. What's up, cuz? Yeah, you should have been on Skype. You should have Skyped in on this one, cuz we could have chopped it up about a lot of different stuff. But I said today when I got here, a lot of my male viewers probably was going to be a little upset. Because today about the women. Like, as a black man, I'm proud. I'm proud for them all right now. Because I sit back and I hear it. I hear it all the time. And heck, I've even been wrong about it myself sometimes. Oh, a man can do this and a man can do that. But the truth of the matter is this. Not taking nothing away from my fellas. But we was having a conversation, me and my little bro down here. My little bro, Jared, I call him my little brother because we chop it just like that. But we was having a conversation. And he brought up some good viewpoints on like, man, I feel better with a woman running the country. And if you think about it, women are very meticulous in how they do things. So sometimes we got to get credit where credit is due. Because you got to think about it. A lot of households are single mother households. And them women maintaining households. So you think about it. With a woman being in behind the man running the country. That might be the change we need. That might be the change we need. And listening to their speeches sparked something in me. It is a time for healing for us all. Because we've been through one of the most treacherous years of my lifetime this year. I mean, I never thought in my wildest, in 1 year, something that came across like the common code and just escalated quickly would wipe out so many people. And it leads me to the point of, and it's just something I've been wondering this whole time. We heard audio. We saw all of the evidence that we needed that showed that our current president knew all about it and downplayed it. So my thing is this. Skip the titles, skip the views, skip all of that. How could we support something that inhumane? That's basically like if I was standing at the front door and I cracked the door first and I looked outside and saw the gun line waiting outside and knew that everybody that walked out that door was going to be shot and killed. And I whispered to the dude next to me, man, they out there with AR-15s, AKs, and everything. A person don't stand a chance going out there. But it's too many of us in this house. So we need to let some of them go out there. And out of all the people that ran out the house and got killed, it come out 20 minutes later, he whispered to the dude next to him, he knew they was out there. Would y'all support that? So you see, it's all just common sense. It's all common sense. And we all run off and get our points of views from what we see on TV. And I remember my auntie telling me a long time ago, it's a reason it's called television programming. If you fall for the propaganda in the media, it'll easily divide the whole country. Depending on which channel you watch, you're going to get a point of view that gets stuck in your mind that's going to be different from somebody else's point of view because they chose to watch another channel. Since I done started dabbling into this media thing, BG, what's good, bro? I see you. Agreed. Agreed, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy when we look at it. It's crazy when we look at it that elections have changed dramatically within the last 10 to 20 years. We've seen the voting process get tampered with. We've seen it go through all kind of changes. And now with this epic, life-altering election, I would say, now you got Trump's camp filing suit. You got Biden's camp filing a suit. All these lawsuits from two parties that's actually one and the same. So it's like when everybody kept predicting that we gonna go through two of the craziest months ever in America, I guess a lot of people took it as, oh, we gonna be gunslinging like the OK Corral, and it's gonna be shootouts and all this crazy stuff. But I honestly believe it's just gonna be like a bunch of bickering back and forth between the two political powers. All saying, oh, they tampered with the election. They tampered with this. They tampered with that. And if you ask me, all elections are shady. I believe both sides did some sketchy stuff during the election. But the president is just crazy enough and so power struck that he gonna expose the whole machine trying to expose one side. He gonna expose both of them. I honestly believe. See, the thing of it is, when I came this week and was trying to figure out exactly what I was going to speak with everybody on, I was leaning more towards talking about maybe we was going to see the end of this patriarchy. Maybe we was going to finally get to that breakthrough moment where women are starting to get acknowledged and get them positions of power that they've been striving for years. And then something else came over me. How many people is disgruntled over the fact that there's a woman that got elected to be vice president? And just in my humble point of view, if you disgruntled over that, how do you look at your mother? How do you look at your aunt, your grandma? When she told you to go sit down somewhere and she ran the house, you gave her the utmost respect. So why not, instead of downplaying it and knocking this woman's position, why not lift her up? Why not celebrate the women for a change? Like it's always said, get them their flowers while they still here. Because if this year, with everything that's done happened, with all that we've endured as a whole country, can't unite us, can't make us have belief in the humanity of each other, I don't know what else will. Because if you ask me, beyond politics, this been God's year to me. Because God been showing his hand this whole year. Most of the time, stuff like this, you think about it, Ebola rolled through, SARS rolled through. They came and went. But this one came and it's still here. And it's almost like it's coming back new and improved now that the winter months is coming. But since we on the topic of the coronavirus, I was reading something earlier. Hey, Chuck, can we pull up? I think Pfizer is working with a vaccine. Yeah, and it's supposed to be effective. But now the question with that is, how many people going to be in a rush to run and take this vaccine? And I'm not the one talking nobody against taking it, if that's what you choose to do. Because a lot of parents, I understand a lot of y'all got small kids, and y'all don't want them exposed to this deadly virus like that. So if the vaccine is available, a lot of y'all, and it might be detrimental and it might be mandatory. You remember how it was when we started school. You got to get your shots and all of that. But I myself personally just haven't been one to do the vaccine thing, because that's like giving the disease to me. But it's supposed to be effective. It's supposed to be the one that they're going to try to go with. So maybe, just maybe, we could be nearing the end of this virus that's done swept the nation and been wiping out family members and loved ones all across the country. Because the same day of the election, none of us paid attention. But that day was record numbers in America. Record numbers. I think that the cases spiked extremely high that day. And I'm seeing them spiking again in Michigan. They spiking down here. So maybe, just maybe, it's time for that vaccine to roll through. Because a lot of people I've been seeing a lot of people testing positive for this virus. We had a scare down here. So maybe, just maybe, through the grace of God, they figuring it out, y'all. Maybe they figuring it out. And they trying to put an end to it, because it's done devastated the country, if you ask me. I honestly feel like the new normal will be masks. I mean, how many of y'all gonna take y'all masks off even when they say it's cool to? A lot of us, I know, gonna still have ours on. It's just like even at my job, I had somebody say that they was exposed. And I'm like, oh, it shook me for a minute. Shook me to where I ran out and got tested. Came back negative. But the way this virus been going, and basically it seemed like it's never stopped. We just got distracted with this whole election thing going on. And it's still a big distraction, because you got one that's throwing temper tantrums. And a lot of people saying, oh, hold on to your hats. And I'm even saying it because we saw elections get stolen before. And the fact that we not in these rooms with these discussions going on. And remember, like I said, it could boil down to the Supreme Court. So you got to watch, because Trump was playing chess. I think the Democrats been playing checkers while Trump was playing chess, and nobody was paying attention. He put all of the people in place he needed to help him keep his presidency in case something like this happened. In case it was controversy over the ballots, or it wasn't a clear-cut winner. But the way it's looking, it was a clear-cut winner. So it's just like I was mentioning with my producers earlier. If for some reason this election gets stolen, for some reason, after the whole country done been rejoicing and celebrating change coming, they figure out some kind of way to keep this man in office, I think, just in my little humble opinion, that is when they gonna see that whole big divide that they so adamantly been preaching and reaching for. Because I'm down here in Austin, and it's almost like people preparing for something. You can't find ammunition. You can't find toilet paper in a lot of places. Like, what is it with the toilet paper thing, Chuck? Like, do people think going to war, toilet paper is what we gonna need? Like, I don't get it. Like, it's crazy, because if the balance of power shifted and it's time to concede, take your loss like a man and move on. But I honestly think this president knows something that we don't. I think he know about the charges that he up against once he walk out of that mug. So if you could stay in power, why not do everything you can to? But enough about the politics. I really wanted to speak on the one thing that we all can relate to. We all can relate to the pain of a loss. We can. And it's crazy because in a time of loss, everybody reach out to you. Everybody. People you don't know. People that know people you know. Send their condolences. They send flowers. They send good words to the family. And in my little mind, just me thinking how I think and putting a twist on it, why can't that unite us? Why can't loss unite us? Whether we knew these people or not, over 200,000 people passed away this year, y'all. From something they didn't do to themselves. Something that could have been contained that just wasn't contained. We lost over 200,000 people. Why can't that unite us? Why can't that make us look and not see the white guy walking across the street, or the Asian girl crossing to get on the bus, or the black guy who's standing on the corner? Why can't we look around and just see our fellow Americans? That's what's been on my heart all week. Why can't we just be people? Why does everything have to have a color or an age or something behind it? I just feel like going into this new year, you got people posting memes like, nobody better say Happy New Year. Somebody better scream Jumanji so we can get out the game. You got people saying we gonna toast, say Happy New Year, and never mention 2020 again. All these different things I've been seeing. But at the start of this year, I said 2020 was going to be a year of clear vision. A year of clear vision. And somehow in the midst of all of this chaos, from the George Floyd protests and the Breonna Taylor situation and the pandemic and this presidential situation, somehow in the midst of all of this chaos, the vision got clear for me. We as people need to resurrect the soul of what the country was made of. Out of many will come one. And I don't know if that fly over a lot of y'all heads. Out of many shall come one. That means we accept the Mexicans coming over from Mexico. We accept the Africans coming over from Africa. We accept the Asians coming from China. Because America was supposed to be a melting pot. For weeks I've been on the show and we've been having fun. We've been going through a lot of different topics. Even one where I spoke on successful men and the women and all of this, and I kind of upset people. And I spoke the next week from a woman's point of view. And last week, I had my producer on here to give another point of view. See, I want my show to be an open platform, not just one point of view. And I was doing all of that to show one thing with this episode. It doesn't matter how many differences we have. It doesn't matter if our political views are different, if our color is different, if our age is different, if our sizes are different, our backgrounds are different. We still live in America and we still Americans. Everybody always keep wondering, there's so much hatred in America. How can we end the hatred? How can we end the hatred? What we got to do? We march, we do this, we do that. Love will always overpower hatred, people. A simple discussion. I could have got up here today, spoke on all this political stuff, and just kept it political the whole show. It's the time we in. It's the hot topic. But to me, that's not the hot topic. The hot topic is really the divide that's going on when we all in the same boat. When we all want the same things at the end of the day. It just comes off from different points of view. Everybody want love. Everybody want that companionship. And we all want what's best for us and the people that we love. So that's a few things that we all have in common. And it don't matter what color we are. Some of my shows could have been taken as, oh, I was leaning this way or he was leaning that way. But at the end of the day, the position I sit in a position to speak for all people. Not just my people that's black like me, but people of all colors. Because we all have a story. And everybody's story is significant in his own way. It was so many different angles I had when I was going to get up here today. Especially with this being episode 10. Last week we went on here and we was on here 2 hours. Messing around, having a good time. I figured I wanted to bring it back down to earth this week. I wanted to tone it down a little bit. But before I get out of here, I really do want to speak on something because it's been on my heart all week. People's mental health really been coming to the forefront with me lately. And I'm not trying to pull up no stats, no none of that when I speak on this. Because somebody asked me, if you could have one superpower, what would you have? And I looked at him and I said, you know what? Give me a second. I'm going to get back to you. And that person might be watching this show. So my answer to that is, if I could have one superpower, it would be able to touch people on the forehead and take away their mental illness. Because regardless of what we think, we could see people and they could be the happiest person ever. But you never know what's going on in that person's mind. Like for instance, we to the point in the show, in this episode 10, I'm going to share something with y'all. The kind of person I am. And the reason why I went to this point before I got out of here. Because since I've been in Austin, I say for the past 2 years, since 2017, 2018, I've been just like a machine. And whenever somebody asks me, why is you like that? I never give them an answer. I guess today I'm ready to just, you know how they say you clean out your closet? I was in Austin when the woman who I loved more than anything in this world passed away and I wasn't there. And I guess a lot of people figured I would have been spoke on this and been addressed it. But I just felt like today is a good day to do it. When I lost my grandma, I felt like That was it. Everything that was me was no more. So I buried myself in work. I buried myself in doing and giving to other people and doing the things that I felt she would do. And I never addressed it. I never just sat down and thought about how impactful that loss was to me. I just kept moving. But now, I guess as I sit here today, I'm ready to address that. I guess when my mom's passed and I was 2, that took my heart. But when my grandma passed, it's like my soul went with her. So I just became this shell of a person. So when people see me every day and they see me smiling, just know in behind that smile is something totally different. This is why I don't take mental health lightly. Because you never know what a person is dealing with. You never know what cross somebody's bearing when they get up in the morning. I get up here every week and I speak on different points of view. And I do it because it's almost like a tribute. A tribute of all of the things that was instilled in me from all of the people who I lost that meant the world to me. From both my grandmas to my aunts to my cousin who's supposed to be down here with me. So just know that a lot of times when you sitting back and you feel like nobody gonna understand you, somebody will. Somebody will. I just felt like I had to address that because I'm always telling people that you don't have to be what you're thinking about. You don't have to let your mind overpower you because your mind is a powerful thing. And if you let it sink into a place, you will go right with it. And the reason I shared that is because I'm a walking example. And I shared that because it's been a burden that's weighed on me for like 2 years now. So when I tell people, check on your strong friends. Because their image may seem strong, but you never know what's going on the inside of it. And I got a friend who I'm not even going to mention her name. But we could argue. I could say some of the craziest stuff in the world to this particular friend, and she still be right there. So shouts to that friend. If you see this episode, shouts to you. Because a lot of times when I came to heal you, you didn't know you was healing me too. And y'all know, it's easy to hang my 15 seconds of shame today, Chuck. Who you think it should go to, Chuck? I'm gonna let you do it.
Really put me on the spot here.
Yep.
I think I might have to let you take this one.
All right. How about we hang our 15 seconds of shame on Gary? No, I'm just playing. We gonna hang our 15 seconds of shame on my producer for this cheetah shirt he got on. If y'all could only see, he came running up the stairs looking like a damn cheetah loose. But okay, let me get back on track, y'all. We be having fun in the studio, but now my 15 seconds of shame will have to go to the Trump administration, because don't be a sore loser. Just like Obama was graceful when he transitioned the power over to you, at least do one graceful act. Jesus. And I gotta leave y'all with this jewel. I hadn't talked to my pops in some weeks. And I changed my numbers up. You know how it be with your parents. They get a particular number and they see a number that ain't saved in their phone. He's not answering. At least that's how my pops is. But I finally talked with him. And we was talking, and every time I talk to my daddy, it's almost like I'm grown as ever. But when I talk to my daddy, I feel like that little boy to just be like, okay. And I was talking to him, and I said, you know how y'all been doing? And he was telling me, giving me the rundown. And he always asks me, so what's going on with you? And how's life in Austin? And I'm telling him. And he said, you know what, son? Always be great, forever forward. And I said, huh? He said, always be great, and the motto is forever forward. So I say that to y'all to say this. Regardless of what the circumstance is, regardless of what is about to be upon us, let yourselves be great. Keep moving forever forward. Meaning just stay progressing. Whatever it is you decide you want to do, be about that and do it. I could even latch on what my boss always talking about. He like, ain't nothing to it. Just jump in there and do it. Regardless of what. Jump in there and do it. A lot of these people that you think went to school to learn this stuff just jumped in there and did it. Jump in there and do it. So I'm going to end it on that. All of my viewers, all of my peoples that get to see this episode, when y'all leave from here, keep being great. And stop looking backwards and stay looking ahead of you. Because the road that lies ahead of you is much greater than what was behind you. This been another episode of the Jackson Report. Y'all have a good night.